Alright, so this week we're going to be going over my best attack series in butterfly guard, which is my head snap and choke series. So nice part with this is you're going to get to see what I hit you in every so often. Bad part is your neck's going to hurt at the end of today. So is what it is, sucks to suck, whatever. So we're here, I'm working with Jordan, and I'm sitting up, but I want to keep him as off balance as I can. So one of the big mistakes I see our team make in butterfly guard especially is, we'll set our feet on the floor here and just kind of be in front of it. Not really trying to do anything and not really having a plan of where we're going. So when I'm here, I'm kind of just moving him off balance, trying to break that base down as much as I can. Because what I'm looking to do is break his base down, and I'm trying to snap his head just a little bit into my hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a chin cup to just catch his chin right in the middle of my hand. So I'm going to look to off balance him, snap his head, cup his chin. Now as soon as I cup his chin, I want to tuck it to the side of that hand. Now how many of you played running back in football, right? Point of the football in your hand, point of the football in your bicep, curl it in, right? Same concept here. We're going to put his chin right in our hand here. We're going to put the top of his head right in the top of our bicep here. So I'm here, I snap, boom, here. Now I'm using that bicep just over his head a little bit here. Now, once we get here, our other hand is going to come inside. I'm going to grab the fatty part of my palm here and here. All I'm going to do at that point is roll my hands under, put my ear on this logo in the middle of his neck here, and fall to this side as I curl my hands in. Really nasty choke, works really quickly if you hit it properly. Couple of the mistakes I see pretty commonly in this choke. One, a lot of people like way over dig this hand and it like sticks out this shoulder over here. This hand needs to be on that chin and here. That puts all your hands right in the middle of his throat. The other thing I see a lot of people do is they'll sit back and they'll arch out of this, which just pops Jordan's head out for him. You want to reinforce your choke here. So when I'm working, boom, I snap his head here. Here, I don't want to arch back because that gives his head an exit point. I want to put my head here and I want to curl everything into the choke. That way I'm re-supporting my grips here. Because your goal is, guys, everyone put your chin right in the center of your chest. You know there's not a lot of space in between your chin and your neck at that point? I want to occupy that space with my hands. That's what chokes you here. As I check my wristwatch here, which is what I want the motion you're looking for on this choke is, you get your hands connected and you check your wristwatch through the back of his neck. So when I'm here with Jordan, boom, I'm here, I check my wristwatch. For those of you who can see it right here, here. That's what allows me to hit this choke. So we're here, I'm checking that wristwatch, tucking that, collapse this top elbow, fall to this side. 9 times out of 10, if you have it right, they'll start tapping before you hit the ground unless they're dumb and tough. Then you may have to hold for another second or two. Biggest thing with this one, guys, is I swear to God, if you arch out of this choke, I will walk by and slap the shit out of you myself. This isn't one of those bad UFC highlights where you're like, ah, ah. I've seen way too many of those and I want to shoot every one of them. And then they lose the choke because they suck at jiu-jitsu, right? So we're here, I snap the head, here, hand comes in, curl everything in, collapse the elbow, over the top, boom. Questions on this? Like I said, first get them off balance that little bit, just using your feet. Snap that back of the head. All you're looking to do, guys, I'm not looking to snap him through the mat like wrestling. All I need is that head down that little bit so that I can come over the top of it. Once you're there, connect your hands, finish. All right? 1, 2, 3. This next one, very similar. Just arm in. So we're here, same thing's happening. Boom, I tuck that head, But now, let's say Jordan kind of recognizes what's happening, and a lot of people will tuck this arm in to make it harder to get to my hand. It's great, I don't care. This hand still reaches in, still goes here. The only difference now, I'm gonna look to rock my hands in his head like a baby. So for those of you who have had babies, right, you rock the baby, it's real cute. Same concept, I'm gonna get this grip, rock that baby, collapse it in. Boom, I head snap, he tucks his hand in, I don't appreciate that. Rock my baby, fall over that top. Same thing, arching into it, not arching out of it. Realize arching out of it just makes your choke worse. It doesn't help you at all. It feels like you're adding more pressure because you're like extending yourself, but you're making it easier for him to escape and a lot easier for him to pass. So we're here, I'm working, bop. I don't appreciate that. Here. Once we get here, like I said, you rock that baby, collapse that elbow, curl everything in. Now, a couple people ask me, do I look to keep this leg, do I look to pass this leg over and finish this way to stop the hop over? I'm not as concerned with it. If I do fall to my hip though, because you never want to fall straight back on this, you do always want to still fall to that hip. I am going to cheat this knee out a little bit, and I'll use it to collapse over that ribs. So that's about it. Because if they go to elevate and finish, you can still elevate them because you have their head control. So like if I'm here with Jordan, boom, I'm here. Jordan goes to hop over. I have control of his head. All he did was get me mounted Armin guillotine, which is mildly more violent.
Same head placement?
Yeah, I'm still looking for that same head placement. A lot of us were kind of coming way elbow over the top here. I'm literally trying to tuck his head in my bicep here. So I'm not trying to come way elbow high and like connect my shoulder to his shoulder here. I'm looking to have that little bit of space, because then once he grabs here, boom, he's locked in right now. I don't have to fall to my hip. Jordan's in trouble right now. I'm releasing the pressure because I like Jordan most days and I don't want to put him unconscious. Just kidding. But once we fall here, it just gets so much tighter, so much quicker. Same concept, guys. You're rolling that, collapsing the elbow. The arm's not in your way, it just changes that rocking motion just that little bit. Other questions on this, guys? Carolyn?
When doing this, does sense of urgency come from moving it to lock your hand?
The second I snap his head. Sense of urgency happens this isn't one of those like, oh, you can set up and take your time, and oh, I'm grabbing your chin politely, and you're gonna let that happen. No. There's never been someone grab my chin and me be like, cool, Chad, thanks. I appreciate you grabbing that. Let me just, No. The second someone starts to feel you going for their neck, they're gonna have a sense of urgency to escape. So from head snap to hand connection, from that point forward, the game is on. You gotta go. Now that doesn't mean you need to sacrifice technique for speed or anything like that, but this isn't one of those like, oh, la-di-da, I can hit my sweep and blah. Like, it's not one of those slower techniques that you can hit. Like when I get here and I get going, it's going. Those of you who have rolled with me when I hit these, it goes from we're comfortable to you're choking very quickly, and that's the goal on this. All right? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so we're here, and let's say I get to this head snap, but for whatever reason, my hand just goes too deep, right? Like I just get here and it's just not working, and my hand just ends up too deep. I miss the chin, whatever happens, right? Now we're gonna go for an anaconda choke. All we're gonna look to do here is I'm gonna dig this hand as deep as I can till this hand comes out the armpit here. Then I'm gonna look to trap his elbow back, grabbing my hand here. Now I wanna lock on my bicep, not on my forearm. Once we're here, all we're going to look to do is curl our hands up and squeeze in. Now, when you lock this in, I'm going to loosen it up because I like Jordan, like I said. We're going to look to fall with our hands in the air. A lot of people fall on top of their locks in these chokes. This isn't one of those. You want to fall with your hands in the air so that if you need to, you can adjust. So we're here, I'm working with Jordan. Boom, I get here, and for whatever reason I missed the chin. I don't worry. Commit that hand a little bit deeper. Grab my bicep, and this hand isn't just coming to his back. I'm trying to scratch the back of his neck for him. That's where your hand needs to be reaching. Here, here, reaching up. As it comes up, I'm going to curl in, fall to my lock, and squeeze. This is going to be a little bit more of a blood choke, so it's going to take a second or two longer, but if it works properly, you should get the tap about 5 seconds after squeezing if it's in and they're not dumb and tough. Dumb and tough people are harder to choke just because they're dumb and tough. So it takes a second or two longer, but you'll start to feel, I always refer to it as the panic motion. When people figure out a choke's in, you'll feel this real sudden movement of like, oh my God, I can't breathe, or oh my God, the lights are coming out. Once you feel that, just commit to the choke at that point. If you don't feel that after a couple seconds of squeezing, and it doesn't have to be the squeeze, just real good, solid, slow, steady squeeze here. You don't feel anything after a couple seconds where they're like, they're moving, or they're wiggling, trying to get out of this. Then you want to start readjusting. Generally, it's the depth hand that you just need to get a little bit deeper and go again. So I'm here with Jordan. Boom, we're working, pop. I missed that chin. I don't like that. Boom, dig that hand deep, here. Once you get here, and you may need to re-grip a couple times, because guys a lot of time are going to drive into you on this, and that's fine. You may need to re-grip here. If you sweep them to this side, all you have to do is crap a foot here. Squeeze. You don't want to sweep on top with this one. You want to go to your side if you are going to sweep with this, with your hands in the air, and you're trying to, like an anaconda, squeeze everything in. Questions on this one? It's a little different from the last two. Nothing. All right, so we're here. And one more time, just for fun. Boom. I get here. My hand goes too deep, whatever ends up happening, right? Boom, I adjust and commit that hand. Boom. Grab my bicep. Hand comes up to scratch the back of his neck. As I do that, I'm going to curl everything in, fall to this hip, curl up, follow it over. Chad?
Short arms or big shoulders?
Commitment of your shoulder. So, now, there is a variation of this where you can go palm to palm here. Here, I will tell you it is magnitudes less effective. Here, where you can connect your hands and come here. It's not as effective as you can tell with Jordan not tapping yet, but it can work. I will tell you, it's just not as effective. So you have to, the biggest thing here, guys, even if it takes an extra step, when you get here, commit that arm. That arm commitment is going to be what gets you there. Even as a short-armed person, that's going to be what you need. Other questions on this? Choke each other. 1, 2, 3.